Hey guys, here's another critique. This is of a guy named Stetson 2. I don't really know what his origin name is. I could probably recognize him if he were to tell me, but uh, so he comments on a lot of my videos and he asked me to do a critique of one of his. So why not? Something that I immediately noticed though is the title of this video, Almost Perfect Game, died 7 seconds in before it ended 23-1. I can already tell that you have a lot of room for improvement. As you get higher on in as you get more experience in the game, you'll start realizing that it's less about the feeling of success that you get from like getting a good score pales in comparison to the feeling of success that you get from like doing a really good play or having a moment where you really fight hard for a team in a team fight or something. So anyway, and then also I'm noticing L1 R1 here on the I'm guessing you're using an Xbox or PlayStation, and so I'm already going to tell you now, this is probably going to be a pretty harsh critique, because I know it seems like from my experience the skill ceiling on PS4 and Xbox are pretty low, mostly because of more casual player base and not a whole lot of controls. So with that, you have a good setup for sulfur fields. This is Blast, it looks like. 23 kills isn't very high in a Blast game. That's about middle of the road. That will probably get you, I don't know what it's going to be on the PS4 Xbox. That's probably first on one of those platforms. But on the PC, that will probably get you second to fourth place, depending on how good your team is. Usually number one on your team is going to be over 30 kills, especially after Bespin. Now, he told me that this is before Bespin, so there's no kill assists. But anyway, let's get right into it. He's also using an SE14C, which is not a good choice for this map. No combat rolling either. I'm noticing you're not using the combat roll to speed up. Okay, you go for the charge, that's fine. And then you abruptly change direction. That was a bit strange. That's unnecessary shooting too. That puts you on the radar. You're not checking the corner left there. Red's on the radar. Get the high ground. Oh boy, this is really ugly. You're playing very one-dimensionally. The enemies, there's like one guy up there. If you had looked left, there's enemies behind you now that you missed, that you could have gotten. You're not really peeking either. You're kind of walking forward. That aim, man, I'm so used to PC aim. You can tell it's very jerky movement because he's using a controller. Okay, that's a good look. Man, that aim though. If you can get your hand... Oh, that was completely unnecessary jetpack, and I mean, looks like it works out there for you. I guess you must be... Yep, you're running Berserker because you killed the guy really fast. Unnecessary adrenaline as well. Okay, I gotta stop the video here. So I gotta say, So right off the bat, I'll go ahead and say what you did wrong. So here, you have enemies... You should know that they spawn back here for Blast, and so they're going to come from up here and from down here. And going this way is a killing hallway because they have the high ground and they have cover, and if these guys are any good, if that guy up there was any good, he could have seen you on the radar, especially since you had shot and you're running Berserker, and he could have popped out and killed you easy. This is kind of a weird look. You have a very, it's like a very, I think it's because of the controller mechanics. It's a very one-dimensional movement style. You can't like really aim and move at the same time, and that's why it looks like when you're moving here, like when you turn to go left this way here, you abruptly kind of stop aiming, you turn your body, and then you go that way. That was a good C switch, a little bit delayed though. That was kind of, I don't know. The thing with Berserker, I would usually recommend not using Adrenaline Stim. I'm guessing you use it a crap ton because I guess you have your maxed out cards here, but you're usually just better off. Stay under cover, find some enemies while you let yourself regenerate, and then go for up there or something. So that's an orbital strike. Now, this was actually a good play. I don't know if you had thought about this when you'd done this, but moving into an orbital strike is good because it usually means enemies who are stuck in it have pushed themselves back and they might be low health. And they might not be anticipating seeing a stormtrooper boop right there, you know, right inside of the orbital strike. So here I would have C-switched again when you were looking left. That was a pretty lucky kill. And C-use. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Let's go back here. Yeah, Berserker helping you out. Totally unnecessary. You don't need to use Journal Instant. Just run up there. And I know Berserker is a 12-second until you start regenerating health again, but there's no reason to use it. Also, you have enemies on both sides of you right now, but you're playing you're kind of sprinting around corners. You're not peeking corners whatsoever. There you would have wanted to do a C switch. I don't know what the button is to switch, but that was a completely unnecessary. Okay, if you're gonna jump cannon, this is something that I get asked a lot. It's like, you know, people think that, you know, jump cannon just is you figure out where people are, you jump pack, you snipe them, and that's it. No, it's a. If you want to use your brain in this game, it should be more than just a situation to get a kill in. Here, what you should have done is you should have used your jetpack to get onto this ridge up here. And, you know, while you're up in the air, maybe get a sniper shot off. I don't know, if you're playing on a console, I don't really know why you're jump sniping, unless you are that confident in your aim. I would just jump pack up there and then just go for regular sniper kills. But I guess you must be confident enough because you are using the pulse cannon. But see, this is a completely useless. You're far away from them, so it's really hard to hit them, and you're going backwards away from them. The way this is played, and probably the reason why you only managed 23 kills, is there's two main spawns on Sulfur Field. There's the one down here, and then there's the one behind you where the rebels had spawned at the beginning. If you play it right, you can basically bounce between this rock, this ridge up here, and this ridge over here. You bounce between those three, and you use a long-distance weapon, because this is a big map, and it's a big and open map. SE14C, I think, is... It's not the best choice, you know, but I mean, if it suits your play style, which it probably is a little bit more suited for on consoles, but yeah, if you just, you know, control this rock and control the rock over here, you can go into those spawns, and if you don't have another top killer on your team, you can get, like, posting 40 kills is pretty easy on Sulfur Field's Blast, because you can just snipe people, especially if you're running, like, Bounty Hunter. That was a bit of a... That was what you should have done. Is you should have, if you see this guy here, you see his leg or something. Yeah, you see his leg there. What you should have done is you should have come here and then peeked. What you kind of did expose yourself. If he had decided to come up and peek you, he would have gotten the first shot at you. I don't know how that would have worked out. Unnecessary scoping right there, but you know, you should have C-switched as well right there. I don't know what the button is to switch on the consoles, but right here you should be using vertical peaks. That was another bad move. Right here, first of all, you should probably C-switch because this higher ground is up here, so you're going to be shooting over this way more. So, and then what you should probably have done here is you should probably pull your cursor down so that you're peeking up and over this rock better. Instead, you just kind of do a blind pulse. You just kind of do a blind pulse jump, which you do get a guy, but I don't know. That was sloppy. That was pretty lucky that he was running right out in the open. Still a good shot though. I mean, it's nothing to laugh at. Okay, okay, here's another problem. You're not running scout, and here you are going on a flanking maneuver. Your team just got 3 kills of these guys. You know, they spawned back here, and your team just got 3 kills. That's 3 less people that are now going to be spawning on the opposite side of the map, and you're wasting time running over there now. Like, see, you know, these guys are going to be long gone by the time you get over here. I'm just guessing. Okay, so do you decide to turn around? I don't know what that was. So yeah, that was kind of a wasted maneuver, especially since you're not running scout. If you were to have been playing with better players, you're leaving yourself pretty wide open over there. Okay, I see you're looking at radar and you see people over here. You should really, the way you're playing is you're going out into the open and you're scanning the field. That's not what you should be doing, because if any of these guys are sniping, or if any of them have half decent aim, which I guess they don't, you know, a smarter move to be, if you're out here, pause behind this rock right here. Pause behind here, get your sniper out, do the pre-charge. You are pre-charging, which is good. And just look around while you're under cover. You don't have to be out here doing it, because then you can just get shot. So like right there, you do kind of hug the rock a little bit better. That was good. Yeah, sloppy shot, but ooh, that was... You're letting your recoil go a little bit too much out of control. That was a little bit delayed too, but I know that was a good combat roll. That was a good dodge. That was a good dodge. That was a good play. Like, overall, very sloppy, like if you had been playing against better players, but you're not as the thing, and you probably know it. So, you know, Adrenaline Stim, Berserker, you're gonna be fine here. You just take out guys with one burst. I mean, luckily, these enemies, these guys are all coming at you in a straight line. None of them are strafing, which is just weird. They're like bots. So now you should be identifying that they're coming from that spawn up there. Okay, that was, you had the right idea. Don't get me wrong. That whole jetpack, you get closer, and you know you might be able to get up there before one of your teammates, you know, takes the kill. That's the right way to play. But it was just kind of sloppy. I'll show you guys what I mean here. So, you get out your pulse here. Good, you're pre-aiming it. But look at where you're aiming. You're aiming over this way to begin with, not over here. So now that means if you jetpack up here and there's an enemy coming down here, you have to move all this direct distance on your screen, which is more distance for you to make a mistake. So instead, right before you jetpack, you know, identify, you know this map well, I'm sure. Put your cursor here and then jump back over so that you don't have to do this correcting movement. Okay. That was a little bit chunky too, how right here when you land and you decided to unpulse, you kind of paused for a second. I don't know, it just didn't look very fluid. That's just me being very critical, though. That's not going to affect your gameplay in a big sense. So yeah, you know where their spawn is here. That's good that you're pushing up. You're using this for cover here. Again, you should be tilt peeking here. When you go up to this rock, right here, you can't see jack shit. But if you came up to this rock and you were tilt peeking, you'd be able to see down this left side lane of the rock much more earlier than before. Again, I think you're aiming at the wrong side. You're aiming at the middle here. You should be aiming left here. See, if you had been aiming left there, I haven't watched this video before, but if you had been aiming left there, you would have been able to get that guy, especially if you had been tilt peeking. You are pre-charging your sniper, which is good though, so I gotta commend you for that. Also, I don't know if you missed it, but I just saw his leg poked out at the very end there. Right. Oh. There you go. Totally unnecessary jetpack. You're at 72 health. You're running Berserker. Totally unnecessary. The whole reason... damn it. YouTube. Okay, let's go. Okay, the whole reason why you're hiding behind this cover here is to use it as cover. Don't waste a jetpack as a card to get away from an enemy who gets you down to 72 health. Just walk 2 steps this way. That's all you gotta do. And then he's gonna sit there and try to pre-aim you, and you're a better player most likely, and so you can just jitter peek out with your sniper and get him easy. So this is an example of the reason why you went 23-1 is you were overly cautious, meaning that you're not gonna get a lot of deaths, which is good, but you're also a little bit you're missing out on kill opportunities, which is why you're gonna post a lower kill count. To be honest, I actually almost considered not doing this video. Okay, here again, I would have been tilt peeking upward, so you aim downward, and that allows you to see the horizon a little bit higher. I was actually considering not even doing this video. That was a bit to nowhere, by the way. I didn't even consider doing this video at first because I figured 23-1, it's going to be a lot of me saying the same things over and over again. It's going to be saying unnecessary, unnecessary. Okay, you should have done this, unnecessary. Yeah, so that was, I think you're trying to grenade a guy behind this. We'll see what happens. No hit markers, okay. Imploders on this map, you know, you're not running Bounty Hunter. If you're running Bounty Hunter, that move would have been okay because you get so many freaking power-ups. But, I don't know, a Thermal Imploder, dude? I would have waited to, you know, then if they spawn out here and they're running across that area, that open area, use the Imploder as a crowd control thing, not necessarily as a thing to get a kill, but as crowd control. So say what you could do is if they're running on this outside area and you don't want them to go behind the rocks, you know, there's like 3 enemies, right? And they're all kind of going different directions. Throw the Imploder towards the rocks. That makes them stay away from the rocks, and then you can hit the people who are in the open area over there. So it's just kind of, grenades are very good in competitive play. Honestly, 50% of the time I get a kill with them, 50% of the time it's just for crowd control and to keep people off of corners or to Okay, that was a very sloppy, you should have peeked before you rounded that corner. There's red on your radar there. I know he's kind of far, but, still, you should get into the habit of when you're going to turn a corner, you stop the sprint about there, and you pivot. You pivot your cursor so that you can peek. Just running around the corner like that, you know, against noobs, you're going to be able to outblaster them with an SE-14C and Berserker, but against good players, you're not. Or, you know, even if bad players are using a one-hit kill gun like a scatter gun or a cycler rifle, you know? Okay, here's good. You are identifying where they're at. You know, this entire situation with you running around by the shuttle and jetpacking, that all could have been avoided if you had just gotten the high ground on one of these posts up here and just rained down into their spawn. That was an unnecessary move. I don't know if you get the kill, but you see this guy coming in here, going for your teammate. He's going to land like right, yeah, he's going to land right there. Totally unnecessary. So you missed out on the opportunity to kill this guy. Close shot, but not quite. Yeah, now you're unnecessarily backing up. They haven't spawned back there yet. They're still up here. So you're doing like a very weird flanking maneuver. This kind of flanking, it might help you get 1 or 2 kills, but for every 1 or 2 kills it helps you get, you're missing out on... Ooh, that was a pretty bad shot. For every, you know, kill that you get from a random flanking maneuver like that, you're going to miss out on 4 kills that you could have gotten just by patrolling an area on the map. And right here again, you're playing very one-dimensionally. That guy, if he was any good, he would have seen you pulse cannon, and now he's seeing you on the radar coming up after him. And okay, I guess your teammate had gotten him, but anyway, that's too far of an engagement for the SE-14C. You're just kind of drawing attention to yourself. This is something too about all these jump pulses is your with the SE-14C, you're really pigeonholing yourself. You use up your sniper rifle, and now you can't really do much unless you get really close. And again, this is the whole reason why you see players like myself and Spathy and other players who can get consistently high kill counts and low deaths is they patrol an area. They don't spend the time running around the map and finding enemies. Instead, they identify where the enemies will be, and they figure out the best way to hold that area, whether that's peeking around a rock or like spawn trapping or, you know, setting up a blaster cannon somewhere. The way you're playing is a very effective way to maintain like a 1.5 KD is how I usually say it. Like a lot of people in this game is easier to get a little bit higher of KD, but in a lot of first-person shooters, a lot of the people with around a 1.5-ish KD, they understand the good thing about being aggressive and about, you know, using good guns, and they have a good fundamental understanding of how the game works, but they don't understand the way it should be played to get a lot of kills and not a lot of deaths. And that you don't need to be sprinting around the map constantly searching for people. You got to play more conservatively, more patiently. And see, just like here, you wasted your time. You know, you were up here originally, you've done this whole loop around this map. Second place is only 3 kills behind you. Again, right here, you turned way too late. You know, you go up here, and you really should have stopped sprinting and kind of peeked around here. I guess there's not any red on the radar, but it just seems sloppy. That felt very mechanical again. The way you kind of stop momentarily, you get out your rocket launcher, you're like, okay, what am I going to do? And you're thinking about this a little bit too much, I think. You kind of stop and you're like, okay, I'm going to rocket this guy. And you jetpack up here, and you miss. You got to remember that rockets do splash damage, so you should be aiming right here, not on them. Yeah, see, you fired it when you were right on them. It's a projectile, it's not hit scan, so it takes a while for it to go there, so all they gotta do is just dodge it. Right there, you should have C-moved. Totally unnecessary adrenaline sting. You're not even hurt. The whole point of Berserker is so that when you get hurt, you can do stupid amounts of damage. Again, you should have C-looked there. If you'd C-looked, you may have been able to get him before. Also, I noticed you're playing with the music on. That's a no-no. If you play using the sound, um, again, unnecessary. You're jetpacking backwards. You're going farther away from them. We've already discussed this. And now you're like stuck in a hole. Like, oh, you're gonna go up and around. See, now you're just wasting time sprinting around. You do see that there's somebody over there, but I don't know. I still think it would have been. I think it would have been a little bit better to. Also, you saw. I don't know where you're going now. I don't know if you saw this guy. Go back here. There's two enemies over here, and yeah, here. There's a guy right there, and you're going after this guy, and so you kill this guy. And so what should happen is this noob is running along a trench, a literal death hallway. He is giving you a kill. All you have to do is go middle here, and just he'll come right to you. And that's how you should be playing. You shouldn't be playing with this hunt and peck kind of gameplay style. It's going to make you waste a lot of time. See, now you jetpack away. And see, now they're spawning behind you, and that was another unnecessary adrenaline stim. Wow, you hit that guy like twice, and that killed him. Jesus. That was, the whole point. You got down to what here? The whole point of Berserker is so that when you're low health, you're at 97 health. That is freaking perfect. You're basically full health. And you just decide to adrenaline. I don't know how many adrenalines you use this game, but so far, there's only one time where you really benefit from it. And that was a sloppy kill. You should have C-looked so you could get him a little bit better. If he was a good player, he would have backed off here, and you were out in the open to get shot at. So you weren't really using cover right there. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. You have red coming from the left side here, and you decide to jetpack, and you're too tunnel visioned on this one enemy right here. And I don't know if you're gonna get hit from the side when you land. I guess not. You should see. There you go. Now you use the C switch. That was some sloppy aiming. The way this is another more advanced strategy that actually not a lot of people utilize is when you get better at a game, you'll start to realize that it's not just about getting kills. It's, that when you get to a point where you're good enough where you're like, oh, I know I'm going to get a ton of freaking kills, you need to start prioritizing your kills. Right here is a perfect example of prioritization that didn't happen. You have two goons coming up here through a killing hallway that are easy. I know your instinct is go for the guy on the blaster cannon who's an easy kill, but he doesn't see you. So all you need to do is kill this guy quick and just let him be. And that's how you get both kills. But instead, do you get either? No, you get an assist. Okay, you do kill that guy, but you see my point. Is you got to prioritize, who do I need to kill first? And then even if it didn't so happen that, let's say that you even did manage to get the guy on the blaster cannon and this guy comes around, if he was a good player, you're dead right there. You're dead because it's going to take you too long to go over and look to him. I still would have done more peeking as you rounded that corner here. That was unnecessary jetpack. Okay. What I would have done is red's coming from over there. Actually, the jetpack would have been a good idea, but you kind of executed it wrong. So land here, where you have all this cover to use, and just turn around, swing yourself around, and start sniping those suckers that are back there. Instead, I don't know what you were really focused on something up there. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was your buddy had popped shield, so maybe he had been engaged with somebody. Right there, here's just a little tip for anybody watching this video. When people jump, it's a predictable movement. I remember in Star Wars Battlefront 2, I remember starting out playing, when I played the 1.0 version, everybody combat rolled constantly. And then when I played 1.1, that was when people had been playing the game for longer and figuring it out. If you had combat rolled, or if you had jumped, especially jumping, you were basically toast, because it's a predictable movement. So all you do is you combat roll, you jump, and they move to their cursor to where you're going to land, and boom, they're dead. And so right here, you just move your cursor to right where he's going to land, and get him. There's a little bit, so that's just a tip for you to know nowadays. And see, now that you would use your jetpack, you can't go up there, and your teammates are getting up there first, and they're going to take those kills before you can. There you go, that was a good peek. Good peek. Gotta work on your reaction time there. Man, these guys they're just clueless players. There you should have, once again, that guy didn't even hit you. He didn't even shoot. He doesn't even shoot. Oh my god. Okay, right here you should be using the C switch to look around the corner more easily. And as soon as this guy pops up, you should let him keep coming and you should be backing off. Because again, if this guy was using scattergun or if he was a good player, you're going to get roasted because he saw you first. He just sucks, I guess. Okay, good look on the radar. This is going to be a really long video. Again, the aiming thing, the pre-aim, you have the pre-charge down. But if you want to, if you're going to, oh, is that, can you not do that on controllers? Can you not side jump? Okay, so what I'm saying about the pre-aiming is you want to aim, you know, the direction that you want to shoot. I don't know if you can side. No, you should be able to side jump with a controller. You just whatever stick it is, you make it go left. So make your character face this way, and just strafe to the side and jetpack over. Instead, see, now you're swinging all the way around and you're not gonna hit shit. Yep, I called it. Okay, good C look. Good C look. Now you need to start tilt peeking here. Okay, you sort of did. You sort of did. A little bit aggressive here too. You have enemies on both sides of you. Oh man, don't get shot from behind. Okay, you see on that radar there, you have enemies on both sides of you. This guy's coming up the hallway behind you. A little bit too tunnel vision on this guy. If you are made this mistake and you'd realized, shoot, I'm too tunnel vision on this guy, and now there's a guy behind me, put yourself under cover. Combat roll to these boxes and have your back to over here and shoot at this guy. And that way, at least, you know, you still have your back over here because you're still fighting this guy, but at least you have cover that's going to give you a little bit of an edge. That was also, honestly, that's a bit of a slow reaction time too. If you had C looked. See, you had the wrong C side there. That was a little bit of a slow reaction too. Now you're kind of ignoring some enemies on the mini-map. Okay. Yep, see, you had ignored those enemies on the mini-map, and that's what will get you killed. Okay. So overall, that was about what I expected. You're a pretty good player. I think there's a lot of areas that you can work on and improve, but I think I'm glad I did this video, and I'm glad you brought it up to me. You're like, hey, could you do this video for me? No problem. I'd love to. I think it's good to have, if I'm going to do these critique gameplays, it's good that I'm not doing a whole bunch of, you know, Spathies and Daces as critiques, because they're all going to be higher level play, and so a lot of their movements I'm just going to say, okay, good, or I'm not even going to acknowledge because I expect that from them. But I think watching your gameplay, it's a different speed than what I'm used to seeing, and so hopefully the feedback here will speak to a larger audience, especially since I know this game is like tenfold more popular on the Xbox and PlayStation. So overall, 100 to 72, 23 to 1. I think with the level of players that you were playing at, I think with some improvements to your play style and to your aim, I think you probably could have posted like a 45-50 kill game here, which those are pretty tough to do in Blast. But these guys were really bad, and your team wasn't too fantastic either. They were all playing very slow. So anyway, yeah, good job. I'm glad you submitted the clip. For everybody else watching, thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you want me to do a critique of your gameplay. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.